In Sarawak, fashion design isn't just about clothing. It carries stories, traditions, and identity. Today we meet with a designer whose work is heavily rooted in the spirit of Sarawak. This is Sarawak, My Pride.
Sarawak, my pride. Sarawak, my pride. Sarawak, my pride. Pun kita berada. Sarawak, Sarawak tetap di jiwa. Sarawak, my pride. Kita berdiri tinggi. Sarawak, my pride. Dunia kenal kini. Tak kira di mana, tetap satu hati. Sarawak, my pride. Selamanya di sini.
I'm loving all these colors. What's the inspiration behind all
No,
these
because
pieces?
you know this is like my 2026 motif.
Yeah.
So I mean it's still inspired by Sarawak motif, but I'm giving it a new freshness, like more digital, more looking a bit modern. Gen Z will also like.
More
and I like
relevant,
and
yeah.
I like to combine it also with antique weaves and also like kimono.
A real old kimono
Yes,
that you cut out.
I cut out.
Wow.
And also the OB, because I collect them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just you focusing on Sarawakian textile,
no.
but it's also a
It's
marriage
global,
between
you know.
yeah.
It is whatever is relevant. Add it with antique sarongs.
Yeah, and batik.
You know, yeah, batik.
Oh,
that's all.
so
Yeah,
nice.
you don't have to spend too much.
Yeah.
You have to nowadays. You don't be so crazy about wanting things.
Staples are very
But it's
important.
nice to have staples that has got a
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
That's what makes it all. My real name is Dayang Fatima Tom Abang Saufi. I grew up in a time when there was no television, there was no games, there was no parks, but it was just a library and the museum. You know, and the Museum of Sarawak when I was growing up was the best in Southeast Asia. So that's the only place I could actually entertain myself. Even when I was 3 years old, 4 years old, I was just like looking at everything that was ethnic in the museum. There was clothes, beadwork, you know, flowers, the different dried vegetation, the different birds. I mean, it was like such a wonderful time.
So how did that spark your inspiration to design?
That was just a natural inclination of mine to actually look nice and to actually always upcycle whatever I have, even as a young kid.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm the reason for my father's losing his singlet. I spoiled my mother's cooking pots because I was tie-dyeing my father's singlet in the cooking
Really?
pot to make it into a mini dress, you know.
Yeah.
So I will just hand stitch the side of the singlets to make it into a shift, you know.
Yeah. Is the soul of your design? The inspiration?
Of course, it's because Sarawak is a country where anyone would come and be inspired by it. Even
Yeah.
if John Galliano or Dolce or whatever, if they come, they would actually be inspired by at least something in Sarawak because
Yeah.
it is so rich with different visuals, with different colors, with different flora and fauna.
Yeah.
You can't, it's just overwhelming. It just calls you. I am very, very blessed to actually be born there and getting my inspiration from
Yeah.
whatever's around me. I live in a modern world and I don't have to recreate or to like be an inventor. If there is going to be like, there's nothing else I could buy, but I want to have a Sarawak motif, I would actually use some of the pulp that you get in the wealth of Sarawak's vegetation.
Yeah.
You know, like make it into something that is a bit like organza. But in Sarawak, there's lots of others. You know, like you can mix it with bamboo.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine you create this beautiful texture of fabric and you actually add a bit of bamboo in it so it becomes very nice on the skin?
Yeah.
I think even like the bark can be really luxurious if you actually do it into a wonderful pulp, you know.
Yeah.
I think that would be the fabric I would go to. It would be really bespoke.
Can you tell us a few of the international fashion shows that you've joined?
doing my fashion shows abroad, it has been in the most wonderful venues in the world.
Yeah.
Especially with the Islamic Fashion Festival. And you know, for the last 20 years, I've gone with the Islamic Fashion Festival, and we've done things in the Natural History Museum in London with the dinosaur. I mean, I've done it in Monte Carlo at the most prestigious sports club. But you know, we've done it in Kazakhstan. I've done it in all the Southeast Asian palaces, venues like that. You know, in India, every like state in India I've gone to, which was really interesting because I had to do five cities in India.
I love how everything falls into place. As long as you don't stop moving, I believe.
It keeps me relevant, keeps me at this age like so many stories to talk to people, and conversation is always very interesting because every day you learn something, you know.
What is your proudest piece and what was the inspiration behind it?
Thing that actually brought me a lot of rezeki is actually making knitwear out of the inspiration of Sarawak ethnic motif. I took it to my first show in Belgium. It was very, very well received because I wanted the actual weave, but it has got to be modern, where it's going to be user-friendly, it's going to have the motif of Sarawak and with the right colors for the season. I actually took off a sabbatical for a while. My partner was my sister, and she's my late sister. So when she said she doesn't want to actually be in the business anymore, she would like to be with the family more. So I was a bit lost. You know, those are times when sometimes you do have challenges in your work. So I actually took off, but that's when I actually became a consultant to a very huge knitwear company in Malaysia.
Explain your brand.
The name of the brand itself, which is Tom Abang Saufi, nobody knows whether it is for menswear or female wear. The way the brand has actually arrived was organic. And because my name is Tom Abang Saufi and I'm a woman, people happen to remember it. You know, even when I first did my first show, ASEAN show in Singapore, all the other designers were male, from Bangkok, from Philippines, from Indonesia, and I represented Malaysia. The people actually interview me more because they remember my name, Tom Abang Saufi. Oh, is that one with the man's name? You know, so the brand grew organically, you know. That's how it is.
So I was just going to say that you have the kebaya, you have the sari, you have the kurung kedah, and then you have a category where it's just Tom Abang Saufi. Like people would say, they won't say like that is a kebaya, or that's a baju kurung, or that's a Tom Abang Saufi. How does that feel?
The reason why I created them, because I want comfort.
Yeah.
I want a person to have confidence, but it must have a bit of chic. You know, you must know what is currently the in thing in the world today.
Yeah. But one thing that I realized that I've never seen, usually I do see the gold threads put into the motif of your ikat. But this one is very, very different because you do have your gold threads here in the songket. But this part is a bit like the lima.
Yeah. It is actually based on a Sarawak motif, and it took 6 months with the gold thread, the motif of the Malay Sarawak, and then we also have the inspiration from the puak kumu motif of the Iban in Sarawak, you know. I gabungkan the different cultural aspect of what we have in Sarawak. This motif and the thing that I'm inspired by Sarawak has actually given me so many friends all over the world. Like I'm a single ambassador sometimes, you know, like when I wear something which is always Sarawak, they say, oh, where are you from? I say, I'm from the island of Borneo, you know, Sarawak. Straight away, there's all the storytelling. And they say, oh, we must come and visit. And I said, and of course, we have the Mulu caves, we have this and that. You know, I love to talk.
Yeah.
So it was like so nice because it breaks barriers. L is for the way you look at me. O is for the
Only
one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone can I adore, can love. Was meant for me and you.
That's beautiful. do you mind sharing some of your biggest achievements with us?
I don't know, because my biggest achievement is stick to my creating motif that is inspired by whatever is around me. And so it becomes like no one can actually copy it because it comes from a white piece of fabric, and every year I have a new motif. So that, and it's the DNA that I have. It is always an original motif, except for maybe if it's like a bit of, I add some embellishment like beading and all that. But the journey of my fashion has been so organic. It's because of my passion for clothes.
Yeah.
But nothing goes without hard work.
What would your advice be to these young generation?
I try to know what is in the mind of different age group, So when you actually have storytelling, which for me was not because it is the trend, like now it's a lot of trend, like, people just talk about it, but because I actually love storytelling, because I love reading, and I love, that's thanks to my parents, they were always talking about things. So it's actually always talking from my heart to actually start a brand, like you were saying, like if new kids in Sarawak, they want to actually like start, you must have that sincere storytelling, and you must actually sustain the thing you want to do. What is your whole nature and DNA that you want to create?
Stories like hers remind us that Sarawak is not just a place. It is a heritage carried through generations. And through design, tradition meets new life. Thank you so much for joining us, Dato.
I love it. Ikan you mati lemas. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. And thank you for joining us here on Sarawak, My Pride.
Sarawak, my pride. Dari bumi hijau kita bermula langkah jauh.